thank you and welcome to all of you on behalf of the Ahmedabad Management Association to what we call as our first attempt on creating a sales and marketing skills forum. I don't know if you're aware, but over the last couple of years, we've been successful at AMA in creating some community based programs so that there's a little more focus, more predictability on the kind of events that are happening and kind of bringing the same group again and again on the campus together and dealing on multiple topics regarding the same subject and theme. So, Sales and Marketing Skills Forum is our first such initiative for the sales and marketing. We've done very successfully for the HR, we've done very successfully for the finance, leadership, and so on and so forth. So, very happy to, in fact, welcome you all to this first of the three lecture series that we are going to have, rather the sessions on sales and marketing. First today being on storytelling, as you all know. The second session, if I'm not wrong, sir, it's on 29th of May is today the first session. 26th of June is the next session that is being planned, and the third session is on the 31st of July. So in other way, you can remember it as the last Thursday of each month, this being May, and then June and July. You could have you'll be having three sessions on sales and marketing, and all the three sessions we will be having very own Achal Rangaswamy sir to be with us and talk, moderate, and champion the cause. So thank you so much once again. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm Jainil. I have the responsibility of managing the programs committee here at AMA, and we do, among so many other things, a bit of volunteerism at our own institution. So just introducing you quickly, we have Achal Rangaswamy sir. I mean, we were walking to the corridors and he says this is Firoz Shah Kotla for me. So Achal sir, you don't need an introduction here, but for those 7-8 new faces on the campus, he is a very senior veteran sales and marketing professional, also an alumnus of the St. Stephen's College of Delhi. He has played leadership roles with world-renowned companies such as Xerox, Usha, Hitachi, and Bell Ceramics, bringing decades of experience on the sales and marketing front. He has been a recipient of the AMA Zydus Cadilla Marketing Man of the Year Award, which is one of the finest awards this city and state hands over. In fact, he was very kind to recollect that before about 10 years, I believe, or more. 17. Before 17 years, it was in fact on today's date itself, 29th of May, that AMA had given him the Marketing Man of the Year award, and here we are, 17 years after that, having sir on the campus to moderate a session. Of course, he's delivered TEDx talks, is a passionate mentor on sales and marketing as subjects, and has also worked with professionals from Amul, Tata Teleservices, Indian Oil, BHEL. He is a sought after marketing advisor and sales coach, and for us at AMA, he's one of our finest faculty members. So, Achal sir, thank you so much for being always available for AMA. And of course, sir has been spending a lot of time lately at Auroville, but we have just had a reassurance that he's going to spend little more time at Ahmedabad and Gujarat as well, so his friends and fans don't complain enough. But so welcome back to AMA. I have a small token of welcome for you. And a speaker for the day, Mr. Sameer Aasht, is an equally interesting person. We had some conversation, and I'm certainly excited to know more that you have to share. Mr. Sameer Aasht is the founder director of Alma Mater Business Solutions. Is a seasoned brand and marketing strategist with over 2 decades of cross-industry experience, branding, design, digital transformation, and international marketing. He has worked previously with agencies, in fact, some of the finest in the country like TBW, Publicis, Contract WPP, Landor, and consulted for brands such as Jet Airways, Himalaya, Hitachi Payments, and startups like Hike Messenger and Uber Motors. He brings a rare blend of creativity and business acumen, and is also an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad. Sameer serves as a visiting faculty on board of various institutions such as NID, MDI, and Symbiosis, and believes in the transformative power of education and design together. So thank you so much, Samir bhai. Again, you're one amongst our family members, as we say, but as we say, learning never stops. In fact, his son is here enrolled in one of our courses at AMA. So he is not just a speaker and a faculty, but also a parent for us at AMA and a believer in what AMA does, always moving ahead. So thank you so much, Samir bhai, for being with us today evening, and a quick token of appreciation for you. Alright, so on that note, I'm not going to spill a lot of beans, leave it for Ranga sir and then Samir bhai to take it up. So sir, if you don't mind, please.
I think I use this.
Yeah. Okay, please come.
Thank you very much, Anil bhai. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. मैंने सोचा चाय या नींबू पानी बाहर दे रहे होंगे. गर्मी के दिन है, वार्मथ दिखाइए. ओके, आई गेस यू आर स्टिल वार्मिंग अप. आज मौसम थोड़ा बेहतर था बिकॉज ऑफ द रेन लास्ट नाइट, आई गेस. ओके, two major announcements before we begin. The first, as usual, is kindly help us by, we are going to present our own background music when we are talking. I am not very comfortable with background music from mobile phones. So if you can't throw away your phone the way I have thrown away my phone, kindly put it on silent mode, be grateful. एक कलाक में कहीं नहीं था. Number one. Number two, anybody here sitting in the audience who's planning to leave before 16 minutes past 7 o'clock may please do so right now. No, I'm not saying this as a warning, because 7:17 और 7:21 के बीच में समीर जी बड़े काम की बात बोलने जा रहे हैं, और पहले भी बोलेंगे, but this one's going to make a lot of sense. All right? So what have I done? क्या किया है मैंने? Can you tell me? Would anybody like to guess? What did I do by making these two announcements? Hello, I'm Achal Rangaswamy. I am not Baba Ramdev, and I am not teaching Maon. In any case, I don't believe in. You can't make your stomach move like a locomotive and teach Anulom, Vinom or Brahmari or whatever. I meditate differently. The moment I come into a training hall, I'm meditating. It could be 10 hours, it could be 6 hours, it could be 5 minutes. Anyway, thank you very much for not going out. I thought 4-5 लोग उठ के चले जाएंगे केम के जमवानु छे. अहमदाबाद में तो time is always measured by lunch thi pehla, lunch thi pachi, isn't it? That's how it is done, isn't it? I like smiling faces. I generally get upset if I don't find people smiling. So I hope when both of us do talk, we will have something to smile about. Thank you very much. Storytelling. All of us have grown up listening to stories. Both my sets of grandparents. I was born in Madras, Chennai. I was brought up in Delhi. And so Janma Bhumi, Chennai, Shikshan Bhumi, Delhi, Karma Bhumi, wonderful combination of. Someone told me कि भाई अगर मारवाड़ी की नौकरी और गुजराती की छोकरी तुझे मिल जाए तो दुनिया का सबसे सक्सेसफुल आदमी हो गया. प्लीज कंग्रेचुलेट मी. So I am a son-in-law of this town, so please उतना तो मान दीजिए. जमाई राज ने, anybody going home for dinner can always take me with him. I'll happily join you. So why I said this was, growing up in different cities, but having summer holidays in Madras, sitting in the laps of grandparents and listening to stories was a great pleasure. My paternal grandfather was a criminal lawyer, so he shared stories from his profession. My maternal grandfather was a deputy chief executive engineer with the PWD. Those days Madras state was a much bigger place. Even parts of Andhra Pradesh would be part of the Madras presidency and things like that. So he told me stories about building bridges, and he told me stories about his favorite cricketers like Sir Donald Bradman and Richie Benaud and people like that. You may not have heard of them. Then lat lag gayi कहानी सुनने की, फिर कहानी सुनाने की, and so we all started telling stories. To whom? To the teachers. Madam homework किया लेकिन notebook लाना भूल गया. How many of you have done this? Wonderful. I'm so happy to see honest people here. But I had a problem. I couldn't even do that. My house was opposite the school. And so the principal will say, teacher will say, chalo, school chalte hai, tumhare ghar chalte hai. Ma'am, my mom has gone to the temple. She won't be at home. The house will be locked. Which temple is open all day? I said, no, there are some temples in Delhi that are open all day. Lakshmi Narayan temple, you know, it's open all day. Pachi मैंने खबर पढ़ी कि Ahmedabad is one big Lakshmi Narayan temple, you know. So if you drink the Sabarmati water, money will flow automatically in your direction. So we've grown up listening to stories, we've grown up telling stories to the principal, telling stories to our parents, telling stories to our neighbors, our classmates, and then one day telling a story to somebody sitting across the recruitment table about our achievements at work. And the guy who's interviewing you is asking you, oh, in the first multinational that I got, incidentally, another coincidence, today, 29th May, happens to be exactly 46 years of my first day at work in my first job at Kama Chambers, Kanpur, a multinational called Avery India Limited, a company that sold weighing machines. They saw me undergoing training for 1 month, promptly shunted me out to Rajasthan saying, Manas, Gujarat mein nahi chale. 4 years later, I was back here. Now, people can throw you out, you can come back if you are a good storyteller. If you would like to know some of the stories, meet me outside. There is always a curriculum within which you operate. Okay, anyway, now storytelling goes beyond that to selling ideas. If you told lovely stories to your parents as to why you want to do a particular course in college, you are selling. If you tell your mother that this is the girl from Gujarat, but she's a Bharatnatyam dancer, so your South Indian mom gets impressed, you are selling. So a lot of these things come naturally to you if you enjoy the fact that you enjoyed listening to stories and now you are sharing stories. More about that from Samir will be there, but I quickly want to share 2 short stories. I take a lot of time to tell them, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Those days I used to live in Ahmedabad. Now I live in a place called Auroville, which is on the outskirts of Pondicherry. I don't know how many of you have been to Auroville. How many? Can your hands go up? Oh, wonderful. You'd like to? Most welcome, sir. Please come. It's a wonderful place. We have a air quality index of 33. So the person you are seeing is close to 70 years of age, because the only thing he does is inhale that oxygen, and then he finally comes and exhales it here so that you can use it. Ahmedabad ma sakt jarur chhe. You know. So anyway, so what actually happened was, this was in the year 2017, sometime in October. I was sitting in the lawns of our house near Gurukul in Ahmedabad, and I told my wife, ek chai aur ho jaye, zara si chai, maza aa jaye, rishton mein garmahat laye. Obviously, you know which brand I'm talking about. My clients, Wagh Bakri. She said, chai to pilaungi, but kya jao cho tame? Bag pack hai, and jute darwaje ke paas hai, some looking like a boarding pass in your pocket. Where are you off to? I said, Raipur. She said, bhajiya laiva mate? I said, not that Raipur, man. I'm going to Chhattisgarh capital, Raipur. She said, what for? I said, to deliver a TEDx talk. She took a double take and said, तुमको TEDx talk के लिए किसने invite किया? I said, जिसने भी किया गलती की होगी. Maybe you wanted some other Achal भाई, मेरे को बुला लिया है, अब जाना पड़ेगा. So what are you going to talk about? I wanted to tell her that I want to talk about my 4 favorite subjects, put them in an India blender machine and narrate it. But then I know she didn't have time for all that because some of those subjects are not her favorite. So I wanted to talk about Enfield bullets, like the one I rode for more than 2.5 lakh kilometers, or cricket that I played a lot of in Delhi, and Delhi University and all that, or sales, the only thing that has given me food. Incidentally, if you can't sell, you'll go to sleep hungry. Advice for all youngsters. And the last, the great legendary Muhammad Rafi Sahab, who I listen to when I get up and I go to sleep listening to. So I'll put all that together. So my wife had no time for all that. She said, "Je pan hoy, ek warning, no request, no statement, warning. वो insurance salesman की कहानी सुनाना मत." How the hell did she come to know that I'm preparing the insurance salesman story? Then I realized I've been married for 31 plus years. Your wife will know. So, gentlemen, Please be careful. Your wife knows everything. Okay? Sahi hai. We are investing in mutual funds, she will know. So, I was trying to tell her that this story is so powerful that anybody telling this story can sell any product to any customer at any time of the day or night in any quantity under any circumstances. But she said, so I realized I'd already shot my PPT off to the organizers at TEDx IIM Raipur. That's where I was going to deliver the talk. And I realized now that ab kuch karna padega. Today is Saturday morning. Tomorrow around this time I'm going to be standing on the podium. But I'll not be in a position to narrate this story. So karenge kuch. On the way to Raipur at Mumbai, change of aircraft over a cup of tea, I thought, what do I do? Landed at Raipur, was received by the students, taken to the hotel, and I bumped into my fellow speakers. One was a Miss India, Koyal Rana, Miss India 2015. Zishan Ayub, wonderful actor from Hindi films, young product of National School of Drama. Zishan said, don't worry sir, मेरे unused dialogues कुछ फिल्मों के आपको बता दूंगा, सुना दीजिए. I said, thanks Zishan. But over dinner, we were talking about food. Over breakfast, we were talking about idli versus idda, dhokla versus dosa, poha versus paratha, all foodies. And before we realized, we were at the auditorium at IIM Raipur. And I have not prepared an alternate talk. At the auditorium, a young lady from the organizing committee came and threw another rock on my head. Mr. Rangaswamy? I said, yes, ma'am. Speaker number 7? I said, yes, ma'am. So you are now speaker number 2. I said, why? Because speaker number 2 wants to be speaker number 7. Who? Koyal Rana, who was having dinner with you and breakfast also. She never told you that she wanted a change of, schedules. So anyway, अब जब मार ही खानी है तो पहले ही जल्दी खत्म कर दो. Then do the next thing, no? You go to a TEDx talk only for 2 reasons. One is to deliver the TEDx talk. What is the second one? To eat the food. I believe food in Raipur is wonderful. Food anywhere in India is wonderful. So anyway, so you say, all right, I'll deliver at number 2. Before I realized, speaker number 1 had finished. I was introduced and I'm there on the stage. You're in a red circle. The lights are on you, the camera is on you, and you now have to talk. And so the lady from there reads out my profile like Daniel Bhai did just now. 50% of that is fiction, 50% of that is not true. And about this, having done great things and all that. The only thing I've done is tell stories. Now, the lights go off, the lights are on you, the audience is in darkness, 800, 900 people, and there are large screens like at Motera and Eden Gardens and all, because all of them can't see the guy on the stage. And she says, okay sir, all yours. What all mine? Kuch nahi hai, abhi main baat nahi kar sakta, I have nothing to tell, because this is the only story I had prepared for the last 40 days. A TEDx talk of 18 minutes requires 40 days of practice. A class of 45 minutes, as per Daniel Bhai, requires 45 days of study. So young students, when people come to teach you, please give them the credit for that. There's a lot of hard work involved. A sales call sometimes takes 6 months of preparation. So don't just jump into your customer's place and say, will you marry me? I'm sorry, will you buy my product? No, it's the same thing. बात तो वही है. मेरे पास product है, आपके पास need है. Summer training के लिए करते हैं ना MBA वाले. मेरे पास summer है, आपके पास project है. So I can tell you how to get that summer project. So there I stood wondering what to do, and जैसे ये है ना monitor, there is a monitor telling me how many minutes left. 18 minutes, 17 minutes 59 seconds, 17 minutes 58 seconds. And everybody is waiting with bated breath. Come on, Ranga, speak. And then I clear my throat and say, there was an insurance salesman. The moment I said that, all the screens where I was visible, the TEDx signage was visible, disappears, and my wife's face appears on the screen. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me to TEDx. I had a wonderful story to narrate which can change your life. It can teach you to sell any goddamn thing in the world at any price, in any quantity, under any circumstances. But maaf kijiye, I promised my wife that I'll not share this story with you. I want to go home. Whatever number of years left in my life, I want to live peacefully. And she makes great handover. So, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sitting here at AMA, all of you, please imagine you're not sitting at AMA. It's not Thursday evening, 29th of May. It is 17th October, 2017, Sunday morning. You are at IIM Raipur Auditorium. And I tell you that I have this phenomenal story, but I can't share it with you. What will be your reaction? Sorry? Please share. क्योंकि जिंदगी में जो चीज आप देते नहीं हो वही लोगों को मांगता है. Isn't it? And here we are. मेरे पास प्रोडक्ट है, ये लीजिए, मेरा प्रोडक्ट महान, बाकी सब बेईमान, or whatever. And then you go around, tong tong tong, and then the guy says, okay, card मोकलो नहीं. And a proposal आप भी दो. So you send a mail thinking, wow, write in CRM, I'm going to get this order. और मैंने किताब लिख डाली, don't courier that engagement ring. Never propose on the mail. Male proposes, female disposes. You carry that engagement ring with a lot of fanfare. Please ask Mrs. Sapna Rangaswamy how it happened. And I didn't propose, she proposed. Sell in such a way that the customer proposes. Would you like to know how? How many of you would like to know how? Please raise your hands. Wonderful. Excellent. So would you like to know what the audience said at the TEDx talk? Now there are 3 different things the audience could have said. We don't have enough time, so I'm not in a position to tell you that right now. Some other day? Shall we meet some other day? How would you like it if I told you this story later on? So there are 3 things you can do. The first one is, go to a YouTube channel called Achal Rangaswamy, the coach. Press the subscribe button. The moment you do that, 190 videos will open, but right on top will be discovering the joy of selling TEDx Talk IIM Raipur. Or the second thing you do is, Amazon Kindle, go click and get that lovely book with 16 stories called Don't Courier That Engagement Ring. But Anati Vadare powerful proposal je che is this. Please come over here at 9:30 a.m. on the 5th of June, next Thursday, where I'm doing a program called The Psychology of Selling and Marketing. We'll have 2 cups of tea on different occasions and we'll have lunch together. And it is during lunch that I tell lovely stories. Ladies and gentlemen, what did I do? Did I tell you a story? Did it end up in creation of curiosity? Did it end up my proposing to you a solution? Can I see some smiling faces again on the 5th of June? That's it. There is a deep link between storytelling and selling. Otherwise, I could have said, hello, मेरा नाम आचाल रंगस्वामी है, बहुत बढ़िया सेल्स ट्रेनर हूँ, आइए मेरे प्रोग्राम में, आओगे? क्या रे? 5th June, sorry, World Environment Day थे. Yes or no? And I chose that day in particular. I didn't choose a Saturday. I said, let's choose a Thursday. Let's choose a working day. Because you would want to give anything. Second story, I don't want to take too much time. How many of you have grown up at Ahmedabad eating ice cream at Dairy Den, Navrangpura Municipal Market? All right, wonderful. So there is this little boy, Daddy, ice cream chahiye. Now he is 4 years old, early 90s. You have Fortune Sports, you have Ras Ranjan, you have Dairy Den, you have Choice, you have a medical shop, you have a vegetables and sweet, vegetable and fruit guy. Very nice market. Wife has gone shopping. You're standing next to the car. Daddy, ice cream chahiye. You can hear him, but come on, Ravi, गाड़ी में बैठो, बारिश होने वाली है. Daddy, ice cream chahiye. चलो चलो, come, mom has finished her shopping. Let's go. Daddy, ice cream chahiye. To him, Dad is Kutub Minar. My voice is not traveling up there. Let me be a little clearer. Let me be a little louder. Let me present the product or the demand all over again. And what do we do when a customer doesn't listen to us? खड़ूस खरीदता नहीं है, मैं इसको देख लूँगा बाहर. Put a kid into yourself when the customer says no, because the sales begins when the customer says no. वरना तो परचेज है, आपको क्यों इंसेंटिव मिलना चाहिए? Right? So what is this story about? It's about refusal and rejection. Kids don't understand rejection. They just raise their voice and ask again. You all done it with your parents, and you got that choco crunch. Right? The number of times I would have got my son that choco crunch. Number 2, refusal. Refusal. जब घर में बिजली जाती है तो आप क्या करते हैं? No, you peep out of the window. પાડોશીને ત્યાં છે કે નથી? અને પાડોશીના ત્યાં છે તો, oh my God, પાડોશીને ત્યાં નથી? Hush. Isn't it? This is human nature, ladies and gentlemen. Storytelling, human nature, selling. They're all 3 different words for only one thing: transference of emotions, understanding the other person, putting yourself in another person's shoes. And to put yourself in another person's shoes, the last thing I want to tell you, putting yourself in another person's shoes means learning to remove your own shoes first so that you can wear their shoes. Being empathetic, understanding the other person. I don't want to take away from you the pleasure of listening to Samir. He's got some great thoughts. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Samir Aasht, all yours.
Okay, so thanks a lot for that amazing introduction and the warm welcome. I'm coming back to Ahmedabad after a few years now, and I'm pretty happy to be here again. And one of the things which I've always been in love with is the city's way of being very approachable, welcoming, and having great food options here. And now even more about the infrastructure, like I love the riverfront and a whole lot of other things which have come up here. So one aspect which is about storytelling and what got us connected is also about the joy of exchanging life, because a lot of life gets encoded in stories. And a lot of times the stories we make, the stories we share, the stories we tell define what kind of story is going to become of us. So it's in our hands, right? It's not always essential that we tell a story which is predefined. A lot of times we become part of a story, and a lot of times we import a story to become part of us. So one of the biggest stories that each one of you would be part of is the story of your own careers. Yeah. So how do you go about telling a story? Like someday you would have gotten fascinated with the world of marketing. And you would have said that I would want to be part of the world of marketing and world of sales, world of brands, and that's where you've started deciding to say that, okay, how do I tell stories which people want to listen to? So I'll jump onto a deck which I have. I'm not going to take you through each and every element on the deck because it's more of an overview deck. Now in that deck, what I'm trying to share, I hope that's connected here, and okay, so that's just a snapshot of what all brands I have worked on and what all stories I have been part of, and how all I have been engaged in the last 20 plus years of being associated with these world of marketing and sales and storytelling, etc. And you guys are all welcome to connect over LinkedIn and also on the number which I mentioned, so that in case you want to continue conversing and exploring, I'll be very happy to be in touch with each of you. So you see, we have all been in love with cars in some way or the other. And we all feel there are a whole lot of benefits of storytelling, right? The one which you see in red is a Ferrari. And the one which you see in black is a Chevrolet. Yeah, and I'm just taking these as some of the examples, right? So if you look at the features between the two, you would realize that actually the Corvette is a lot more powerful as a machine. Feature-wise, it's a premium, superior machine, right? However, when it comes to the kind of storytelling which a Corvette manages globally, with all the stories that it tells, it manages to command a price of about $60,000. Yeah, and with all the storytelling which Ferrari manages, it commands a price of about $260,000. So how do you tell a story which is not just about sharing emotions, but how do you make a story, how do you sell a feature through a benefit so that people start wanting it as sir was mentioning, how do you ensure that people don't stop at saying that I know about this product, but they say that I want this product, I need this product, I'm willing to pay a premium for this product. So when you're able to command a premium, and this is about a car, and you can see it's almost like a 4x premium happening purely because of the storytelling which is going behind the brand. And you visit a showroom, and the salesperson at the showroom will engage with you in a very different way if it is around a Ferrari. And if you go and visit the showroom of a Chevrolet, the engagement will be very different. So both the sales experiences and the way the story is being narrated start determining the kind of price premium the brand commands, right? Similarly, you see there are different brands here with different kind of models, but of a similar feature set. One is a BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. This was selling at 81,000 euros, 78,000, 84,000, and 70. So you see, even the pricing in this case is similar. However, what is the kind of volumes that they are managing to sell? The Volkswagen is managing to sell around 5,400, while a BMW, despite being a lot more pricier, it's managing to sell a lot higher. And over a number of years, it has managed to sell a lot more number of units, while a Volkswagen has been discontinuing that particular model with similar feature sets. So you see, it is not about only managing a premium at times, it is also about managing the volume of customers to be acquired. And for both reasons, great storytelling is a very, very, very critical element. Yeah. And now this one is a commodity, right? A t-shirt, which all of us have been buying in some ways or the other. This particular t-shirt can be bought as Raste ka maal saste mein at 100 rupees, right? Because that is where the maximum sale is happening. You know, volume wise, people would be okay paying $100 and buying a particular t-shirt from there. The moment it is getting branded, it starts being at 1900 rupees. Yeah? Because the story starts commanding a different premium. The narrative, the experience, the brand being retailed in a certain fashion. Like when we enter, let's say, Alpha 1 Mall, which is now the Ahmedabad 1 Mall, or Palladium, we don't sit or enter there and start bargaining with the salesperson there, isn't it? We say that, okay, fine, this is the MRP. If you're having a sale price, we are okay to engage. And that salesperson would also engage with you in a very different way. They will talk about how the stitch is of a certain type, the experience of its certain type, the fabric is of a different nature, the fit and texture and everything. They would start explaining it and how it will make you look amazing. So the benefits conversation will lead the way of the sales versus the function conversation will lead the engagement and experience when it comes to the one which is selling at 100. So you see how the kind of storytelling determines the kind of pricing that the brand, the product, the overall business is going to be able to command. The moment you put a Lacoste on it, it goes to 2,500 rupees. Okay, and the moment you put a Prada on it, it goes to 9,100 rupees, right? So each one of us have, and a lot of times the fabric specification is the same as the 100 rupee t-shirt. The functional definition of it is the same as the 100 rupee t-shirt. So what is making the difference from 100 to 9,100 is the quality of storytelling happening, right? And how the experience of purchase, sale, and the way the engagement was getting done was different. Yeah. So you see now each one of us would hopefully start appreciating the need for storytelling, and the very fact that you are all here would be a testament to the fact that you feel that storytelling se kuch to hoega. Even when you're going out in the market and trying to get a job for yourself or a internship for yourself or making a business happen, at each of those junctures you would have reasons to figure ways of ensuring that your story is narrated, told in a way that people are wanting to not just engage with you as a professional, as a business person, or as a student, but they're also wanting to pay you the right amount for it. Yeah. So for example, if we are talking about cars or t-shirts or even our own profiles and our own capabilities, our own skill sets, what is the kind of narrative, what is the kind of storytelling which allows for us to command a premium from the market? Because if we are managing not to command a premium, then probably we need to revisit the story that we are telling. And I feel that while today is a very compressed time in which I may not be able to take you through a lot of possibilities and define what all can be done, the session which Sir is going to be hosting will probably give a lot more deeper set of tools and will enable you to become the professional storytellers that you would all benefit from. So further to that, of course, there are different tools, right? So for instance, product, business, brand, and what are the needs of these various users. And a lot of times when we look at these different tools, and as I said, I'm just going to brush you through these tools, and then you're welcome to connect further to understand them in deeper levels. But functional needs may be at the bottom. Symbolic needs will be further at a tertiary level, and experiential needs would be further higher. Metaphysical needs, which are more the ones which drive meaning. So a lot of times we would buy products not because we have use for their what the product can do, but we would buy because we feel that is an extension of who we are. Yeah. So let's say if we are buying a certain fashion brand, then we end up buying that fashion brand because that fashion brand has started narrating a story which we resonate with, which we feel is an expression of our identity. When we are at a ground level, we are interacting and we are, let's say, all in the space of sales. So there are varied types of customers, especially the naysayers, the people who always say, no, that I don't want this product, I don't. So how do you go about identifying that what kind of story will work with which kind of a brand, which kind of a product, which kind of a buyer? Yeah, so one is that a lot of times fundamentals will be very similar. So for example, the t-shirt example that we took, the cars example that we took, almost each one of them had similar fundamentals in place, right? However, the difference is what made the story better. Okay, so a lot of times we get lost in the 95% of fundamentals. Like for instance, all of us would say, I'm an MBA, I'm a business grad, I'm someone who's scored this much, I know sales and marketing because I've read Kotler, I have gotten a few certificates sorted. But a lot of times we forget that we are not connecting emotionally to the potential recruiters, or we are not connecting emotionally to the people who are likely to be buying a particular product, and we are not giving them emotional reasons to bond with us, bond with our product, bond with our services, bond with our offerings in an overall level. And which is why, while if we only talk about the fundamentals, we are getting more and more likely to either not get the sale, or we are more and more likely to not get a premium in the sale that we are getting, and we are constantly getting negotiated on saying that, can you give us more discounts? Can you revisit the price? Can you reduce the offering? Because the biggest reason is about how we engage and how we get them to be emotionally connecting with us, right? So which is why when you are choosing to tell your story, identify what is the difference that you possess. Make the 5% the bigger element of the narrative, the story that you narrate, and let the 95% be not be bothered about. Let it be, of course, this is already, if it is a t-shirt, it's going to be worn, it is going to be having texture, it is going to be having, but what is the story that you're going to lead with? Okay, so each one of you should consider identifying, be it for the products that you're going to be selling, the services you're selling, or even your own branded self that you're going to be marketing to reach out to more and more prospective employers. Consider what is the difference that you bring to the table, which a lot of similar profiles may not happen to be, what similar products may not manage to deliver. And the difference, the source of difference could be of multiple levels, right? But identify such sources which are more emotionally oriented. So for example, if you're a salesperson and you've gotten a lot more resilient and you've got a lot more of emotional understanding of what is the kind of personality which will buy what kind of stuff, because that no textbook can teach. The more you practice it, the more you will get it. And if you can demonstrate in your interaction that that is what makes you a better salesperson, then that is an emotional connect which you're building with your prospective employer, which is irreplaceable for that person. Yeah. So lead with a difference, be it emotional, tangible, or experiential, but always consider what is that emotional element that will get you connecting. There are even more tools which are around the values, rituals, and I'm skipping all of this, but there is, in case you want to take a snapshot, you can. But how do you tell people-focused stories? And because in the world of AI, we love prompts. So these are some of the prompts which will also allow you to engage with your AI models. Okay, be it a chat GPT or Bing or any of the metas, etc. that you may be using. So if you're trying to identify the kind of storytelling, so what is that kind of storytelling which will work? So consider who is known in the business. So for example, if you're reaching out to sell a product, if you're reaching out to sell your own services or your own profile, then identify the person that you resonate with. So you can reach out to them saying that, okay, I have watched almost every video of Steve Jobs which has ever happened, and I love the way he sells, and I can be the one who can sell like Steve Jobs. And then demonstrate how you can sell like Steve Jobs for their particular product. And they would definitely love to have you on board as one of the key team members, right? So telling people-oriented stories will get you more response, because people want to associate with not a product, but they want to see the person infused in the product as well. Okay, so there are even more people to consider, as I mentioned, be it the big names, the teams, the supporters, the groups. Similarly, archetypes is another amazing tool. We are all very, very intuitively familiar with archetypes, right? Because we all know that almost every story has a hero in it, and almost every story has a villain in it. And a lot of times we associate and relate with them emotionally. Because if you look at the dove archetype, yeah, dove, which has managed to be telling a lot of stories. A lot of times in the initial years, we would hear the story, you would go to a regular chemist shop or a grocery place, and they would say, oh, this has a better product because this has got more cream in it, there has got more moisturizing capability in it. But over the years, Dove has managed to say that it is not just about the soap, it is about a soap which celebrates real beauty. Yeah, and because of that, it has started being more inclusive. And through the storytelling, people have started engaging through influencers, through stories, through social media. Now you see, sales is a very, very large gamut of things, and the best marketers are the ones who have been on ground and done sales firsthand. I also individually started my journey as a salesperson, and that's what has contributed majorly into whatever I do as a marketer. In fact, even today, when I take on any project as a marketer, be it a brand or any of the other consultancies, we first do the sales function engagement. So we go on ground with the sales team members and start understanding what is it that they do, because no one knows marketing better than the sales team at the ground level. And that is where, if each one of you starts being an amazing storyteller at the ground level and starts engaging with the conversion ratios being higher, starts to command a premium, automatically the marketing will be able to get more benefit out of that as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, each of these could be also having a dark side. Yeah, each archetype could be having a dark side, and it's about how we identify the positive or the negative. Like for example, you would have heard of, there used to be a channel, I don't know if it still exists, but there used to be one called UTV Bindas. I don't know how many of you might have seen it. So you see, that was a very dark side of youth, which was getting projected. And the entire brand was built on the dark side of storytelling. So storytelling need not always be in the positive side. It can, like a lot of the recent movies, like especially the South movies, which have been now dubbed and taken at a KGF and multiple others. So they have a very dark narrative to them. Like Pushpa, for instance, has got a very dark narrative of a smuggler, a chap who is actually he's a sandalwood smuggler, and he's the one who is the hero of that entire story. But he's still celebrated because of his raw macho-ness and his dramatic performances happening there. Yeah. So what is the story that you're going to narrate and go out in the market with depends on the archetype that your product, your brand, and your customers relate with. And how do you go about bringing them together? Unlike a brand message which happens in multi media, when it comes down to the sales-oriented storytelling, a lot of times you have to customize your narrative depending on what kind of audience you are engaging, right? So you have to almost be a judge intuitively of saying that this seems to be, and a lot of times the small talk you do starts enabling the journey of you being able to identify कि ये type का बंदे को इस type का story जमेगा. Okay, so when you start practicing it and you're going through it on an ongoing basis, you start realizing that, okay, this kind of person I feel will go well with this kind of a narrative. So choose the brand archetype and plug it in there. Yeah, so for example, a lot of times you would enter let's say a mall, and you would gravitate towards a certain set of stores. A lot of times you would end up buying things which you never thought you would end up buying, purely because you felt that at that moment it was starting to make so much sense because the salesperson said that it's looking amazing on you, it complements your personality, it complements your things, and you see that salesperson has identified the hidden need, the hidden archetype, and the hidden narrative that you've been craving for. And that's what makes for amazing sales-oriented storytelling. I would actually skip because I think we are running out of time, so I hope...
We still have 7 minutes, 5 seconds.
Sure, okay. Okay, so I've got a few descriptions here in case you guys want to explore. Okay, so, these are highly researched tools. Worldwide, they are used by almost every business and every brand. And almost every category, every product could be having multiple expressions to them. So the same product could be sold in different ways. Okay, so what you see here is a 4x3, which is 12 ways of narrating your story. Yeah. So for example, glass is always half full, life is beautiful. That is the innocent view. And if we go back here, dove is telling the story of the innocent. Okay. So let's say, if I may ask from the audience, how many of you run a business here? Great. So which product you have? Air conditioners, right? So if you had to narrate the story of an air conditioner from the innocent standpoint, you could narrate the story of the innocent air conditioner, which will always bring you back into the world of being a child. You know, it will pamper you like a child. It will go about taking care of you like a child. It will create a world of being a child again. Similarly, if you were selling it as a wise, you would say that I've got the best technology to ensure that you are always being able to rely on it. If you were telling it as an explorer, so you would say that this air conditioner would be able to take you to the Himalayas when you are in Kutch, and you feel like Himalayas while you are in Kutch. Yeah. So you see the same product, you have so many ways of telling the story. Similar to Rebel, no matter what product you have, you can tell the story depending on what archetype is suitable. Now, if there is a person where you, let's say, are entering a corporate B2B engagement, and your task is to sell the air conditioners over there. Now, in that scenario, you would say that what is the vibe of that place? You've got to start observing as a salesperson, right? So what is the vibe of that space? So if you see a lot of badges happening, let's say you see the refrigerator and it has a lot of those magnets from different parts of the world that the person has traveled to, then you start knowing that, okay, this person is likely to be an explorer. So talking to that person about amazing technical features may not do the task. Yeah, but simply telling him that while you are here, you could be experiencing Himalayas, you could be experiencing the Swiss Alps, and you could be experiencing the cold of the Japanese mountains. Yeah, so that is what is going to work at that moment. So all of these are different ways of ensuring that you're able to identify what kind of storytelling will work at what level. Yeah. So similar, like for instance, magician. And if we take the same product of air conditioners, it is more about this product of an air conditioner magically identifies where the person is and starts focusing on the airwaves going into that direction. Yeah, so because the magician archetype loves that kind of a conversation, right? And how do you identify these archetypes? There are multiple ways, and as a salesperson, and I believe a lot more deeper understanding will happen once you start practicing it, but you start having certain points of observation, saying where will this person be likely to fit in, and identify ways of ensuring that the storytelling is customized to the likely archetype the person that relates with. Yeah, there were a few more who had mentioned about having businesses of their own, right? So yeah, so laminated sheets. So you see now laminated sheets again have a very different element to them, because a lot of times you laminated sheets are the ones which you use in cupboards and a lot of furniture, etc. Right? So here again, if we have to talk about the hero way of selling a laminating sheets, right? So victory and glory are the core elements of a hero. So if you've got to tell the story of victory and glory, so you've got to say that this particular laminate sheet is, you know, very, very sturdy, because it can handle kids banging on it, throwing color on it, killing it, making multiple elements of it. So you see, you've got to bring the benefits of the feature. So laminated sheets typically would stop at colors as one of the key offerings, patterns as yet another offering, right? Dimension of how thick or how thin they are would be another offering. But each of these are features. How do you convert the feature into a benefit? How do you ensure that color would be most appreciated by the lover archetype? Yeah, because the lovers are typically very colorful in their orientation, because they are anyway living in a colorful world of, you know, the best of possibilities, right? So if you identify a lover archetype with a lot more floral decorations and everything hunky-dory with pictures of their honeymoon, etc. happening, then you know, okay, this is the likely lover archetype, and I should be selling a love story to this person. So you see, how do you combine your product benefits and colors into that? Could be a much better way of doing it. The gesture archetype is more about the humor in every product. And there could be, if a Fevicol can be sold with humor, almost every other thing can be sold with humor as well, right? Because there is nothing humorous about a Fevicol, right? But through years, we have all gone through the storytelling which Fevicol has delivered in a very humorous way, and we started emotionally engaging and buying that product a lot more compared to a lot of other brands which have been in the market. And when we reach out, it has over the years started building a lot more trust amongst us. Yeah. Now, every man is about the common man's source of happiness. Vadilal is a fabulous, like they've been running a very good campaign right now, right? With the people which are consuming ice creams and people which are wearing an ice cream on top of their heads. And when you go to the regular person, they are also very engaging in that fashion. Amul is another example of such. Amul talks about the common man, and every time you even go out for a walk, Amul Garden ensures that you feel welcomed there. So, plus the Amul girl will always have a way of making topical messaging happening to constant engagement. So you see storytelling at the ground level and storytelling at a media level. A lot of times they go hand in hand, but storytelling at the sales function level starts being a lot more specific. Yeah, cool. So I think I'm good with what we have till now, and I'll be happy to engage further as and when need be. Yeah.
I think, thanks. I mean, very, very
Sure.
interesting perspectives. Yeah, very interesting. In fact, मेरे पास एक example है. रावण and Fevicol, ये common क्या है? I was narrating, actually I didn't have the time, maybe some other day. On 5th June I will definitely share India versus Sri Lanka cricket match story. And I might talk about Ravan, the 10 heads. बार बार रामचंद्र जी तीर लगा रहे थे, खोपड़ी गिर जाती थी, वापस चिपक जाती थी. फेविकॉल का जोड़ था ना. Until Agastya Muni taught him and said, इधर मत वार कर, इधर कर दिल के करीब. Most of us as marketers, PDF, PPT, data, Excel, data, everyone, hundreds of sheets of case studies and all. अरे दिल को छुओ भाई. मैं 6:30 बजे से एक ही चीज बोल रहा हूँ, जमाई राज छुओ अहमदाबाद में. And that is probably one of the reasons you might be listening to me. The point that I'm trying to make is, he talked about tangible benefits, intangible benefits, and emotional benefits. Believe me, a buyer is seeking your approval as a sales and marketing person कि आपने सही decision लिया. And for the split air conditioner specialist, a married man of 45 years understands the power of silence. So very interesting points raised by him. I now invite you all to ask Samir, Jainil Bhai and me any questions that you have.
Great. So we have 15 minutes, 2 hands already raised, maybe the gentleman in the dark blue shirt, and then I'll come to you back. So first him, yeah, and then we come to backs. Just a quick request to be efficient on time. One short, quick question. Give the mic so that the mic can reach to the other.
All good, yeah. So I'm Pratik. I run an IT company, and the question is very simple. The storytelling in brand building versus storytelling in a sales call, how different is it?
Building versus sales call. Yeah.
Okay.
Mic here.
So what I feel is that the two go hand in hand. Okay, Pratik. So a lot of times what you do in brand building is to pick one of the stories which are anyways true about your brand at the ground level through the sales function. And what branding and marketing typically do is take one of those ground level sales oriented stories and amplify them. They give them a lot more media weight. They give them a lot more of visibility. Okay, so it is not like they are reinventing any of those. It is more that they have researched and identified the most amplifiable story and taken it to ways of reaching it to multiple people. However, within the space of technology, because right now you are a tech company, you mentioned, right? So you see, technology has got some amazing tools of ensuring that the right story is reaching to the right audience, which you in the tech language say UX, and you talk about personalization and localization and a lot of other aspects which allow for data science we plugged into storytelling. So a lot of it is anyways getting enabled. However, people don't always want to listen to a story through mobile mediums, through screen-oriented mediums, because irrespective of however the trustworthiness happens, till the point the actual sales interaction is positive, people are not willing to consume that particular brand, especially if it is a high-value brand, right? So when it's a low-value brand, let's say an FMCG brand, people are okay to try it out because they saw one TVC or saw one YouTube unskippable video and they felt that, okay, this seems to be right, or they might have seen one offer on an Amazon or an e-commerce channel and Instagram or social media, and they said that, yeah, let me try it out. But for higher value items, they want to go to, let's say if it's a car, they will see everything that's there, but they will go and interact with the salesperson, they will do a test drive, they will get into an engagement, they will go into an experiential element, and if the salesperson has managed to create an emotion which is positive, that is when the sales closure is likely to happen, you see. So depending on the kind of category you're dealing with, it will continue changing. personalization and localization are of course amazing data-led tools which can be deployed to make sure that the right story, the right variation of the story is reaching in the right language to the right audience for the right time. So all that is possible. But nothing can beat the ground level experiential engagement which a salesperson can personally deliver. Because irrespective of how much data you go through, you cannot replace data with the kind of first level observation which humans are capable of. And that is the power of the right sales force that you have. Yeah. So I hope that's answering. Yeah. Thanks.
No, absolutely. A picture tells 1,000 words. Data is data. You can infer a lot of things. In a particular market, you found sales dropping every year at a particular time of the year. And then once it didn't, that is when they said, "Ab ki baar monsoon nahi aaya, tsunami aaya." You need memory, not just the data. I mean, the point that I'm trying to tell is, there has to be a balance of both. And this is where, tangible will take care of the saving of money, saving of time, all calculable, measurable. Intangible will talk about peaceful sleep or status when people want to deal with a particular company, enhancement of status. But father telling the son, "Beta, tune sahi ghar kharida hum sab ke liye," that pat on the back is what the son is looking for from his dad. If you are a person who is able to combine tangible, intangible, and emotional benefits together in the sales package, you are a super sales and marketing person. Marketers, please do not assume that since we are talking about sales, it's not. It all begins with marketing, telling stories, and inducing that interest in wanting to buy that product. I hope I've added to the point that Samir had brilliantly pointed out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I am from Kiron Adolik, Ahmedabad, and we are selling very highly technical products in India, which are sold in developed countries, and we are introducing in India now. It is like magnetic coupled cellulose pumps we are talking in selling in industries, in chemical and pharma. My question is, the pumps which are being sold by Indian companies at say 40,000 rupees, we are selling some big some higher featured product at 8 lakh rupees. Against 40,000 rupees, we are selling our pumps at 8 lakh rupees. What we are doing is, we want to make them realize that we can make your life easy in terms of maintenance, shutdown, production loss, safety, hygiene, and many other things, mainly safety and hygienic. But when my question is, where does the question comes about emotions? Like you rightly said that highly high value product, you have to add empathy and their emotions.
Right.
How we can add that pinch of that two things, empathy and emotions?
Sure. So
because we want to start that means we are also very good storyteller, that we can give them examples of some accidents, some mishappenings in industrial plants and all. So how we connect with empathy and safety or emotions in industrial product selling, sir? Thank you.
Absolutely. I think that's an amazing way to command not just loyalty, but repeat recommendations for your B2B product. Because irrespective of which country or which zone you go into, if you are able to create people at the ground level who are able to endorse and stand up for what the product is delivering on, that itself is drive a lot more of relevance for the product, as well as belief and trustworthiness for the product. Because like it or not, especially for B2B industrial oriented products, people are even more concerned about अगर वो खराब हो गया तो कहाँ जाना है, और वो वापस लेंगे या नहीं लेंगे, सर्विस करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. So, and that part of it is not going to happen because you've got a company or a manufacturing plant. That will happen more because they know that, okay, if there's anything going wrong, I can reach out to this person. So make people part of the heroes that you make around the product. So for example, if you have a series of trusted sales team members, so they can become the face of your brand. The customers could become the testimonials for your brand. the people who are technically validating the efficacy, the laboratories, the engineering certifications could become again the spokespeople for your brand. And the ones who are doing stress tests on how the pump can, handle so much of, pressure or so much of, misuse or abuse or whatever that is, those could become the demonstrations of why your product and your brand are worthy of a higher premium. But there should not be a single point attack. There's got to be a multi-point attack. Purely because when you do a multi-point strategy, that is where the impact of the transaction is a lot higher. Because when a person is buying a high-value product, they will go through even more details, right? They will go through multiple elements of checklists and checkpoints. And when you have fixed a lot of these checkpoints, you have a much greater likelihood of that person not negotiating too much with you or relying and reaching out to you independently. So which is what he mentioned, that if he can make a purchase, that is the best way of selling to some extent, is what I feel, right? Because if the person themselves come to you and say that, okay, I want to purchase this, then you don't have to sell anymore. But really you have actually done the selling even before they came to purchase it, right? And that's where the two go hand in hand. Yeah?
I think we can take one last question.
Sure.
Or maybe one after this. Anyone from the
Yeah.
back? Yeah, I think the last boy. And maybe
Yeah,
then
the
this
gentleman
girl as
waiting
well.
for questions.
Yeah. So
Sure,
him
sir.
and the girl there. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My question to Rangaswamy, sir, that sometimes when we try to connect emotionally with humor with the customers, sometimes they see as a weakness or some kind of lack in product or anything, any infrastructure. So उसको सर कैसे हैंडल कर सकते हैं वो?
क्या हम पहली बार मिल रहे हैं या दूसरी बार?
फर्स्ट टाइम
फर्स्ट टाइम. मैंने यहाँ तक कहा था कि अगर आप में से कोई 7:15 बजे से पहले जाना चाहता है, अभी का अभी निकल जाए. क्या मैं रूड या एरोगेंट नहीं था? आप अभी भी क्यों बैठे हुए हैं? यू सॉ दी इंटेंट बिहाइंड दैट स्टेटमेंट. मैंने दिल से कहा. दिल से ही बोलना चाहिए. कई बार दिमाग से बोलने से इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता है, So it was with serious intentions कि काम की पते साहिब, he said something very very crisp at that particular point of time. I was looking at the clock. So हाँ, रिस्क तो लेना ही पड़ता है. रिस्क तो स्पाइडरमैन को भी लेना पड़ता है ना. हम तो आखिर सेल्समैन हैं. ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, रॉकेट सिंह ने बोला था. Right? So you will have to take a risk maybe once in a while. But if you are able to make that person see the impact of that, or the reason, the intent of that, I think right through I was cracking jokes. I'm sorry, I find it very difficult to remain serious for more than 10 minutes. But the intention is important. If you're sincere about it, there shouldn't be an issue. कोई बात नहीं. 100% मार्केट शेयर आज तक किसी को नहीं मिला. एक ही को मिला है, एक ही प्राणी को, यमराज. नहीं, सॉरी, करेक्शन. सावित्री ने यमराज को भी थ्वाट कर दिया था सत्यवान को बचाने के लिए. सो डोंट वरी, कौन सा दुनिया जीतना है. 9% का 10% मार्केट शेयर हो गया ना, यू आर द लीडर. एम आई राइट? सो दैट्स इट. गॉट इट? So go ahead, take the risk.
Yeah, beta. Quickly, the girl there.
Good evening, sir. I'm Archie Shukla and I'm currently pursuing my MBA in pharmaceutical management. So I have been coming to Ahmedabad for the very first time because I'm doing my internship at Health Arc Insights as a strategy consultant. Nice. So there's just one story and I just wanted to know your opinion about it. So near the Nehru Nagar flyover, there's one billboard of Mercedes-Benz, and in that the copy was written, "Turn your someday into today." So my question to you is, how do we convert our marketing strategies and campaigns in accordance with the consumer's pocket?
Give good EMI options.
May I make a suggestion? Actually, I want him to, because he's dealt with these products in great detail.
Okay, so you see a lot of times we postpone desire, yeah? Considering that a lot of times we feel that we are not yet ready for it. And what you need is a reassurance. And that's what the Mercedes people have done so beautifully, right? By saying, make it today and not tomorrow, right? So now, how do you go about enabling that? Because it cannot stop at that statement. It has to become a lot more possible for that person to really go out and say that, okay, fine, I will pay it in the next 7 years. Or I will go about engaging, and it has got a lot more resale value. So even if I have to sell it in future, I have to pay out only that much. So you see, but all of those calculations, engagement, but most importantly, the emotional reassurance and the pride of buying a Mercedes brand has to be something that the salesperson then gets into delivering at the ground level, at the store level. If the salesperson goes and says, यहाँ का आपका brochure है, इसको आप देख लो, ये feature, then it's not going to likely to convert, right? But if the salesperson say, oh wow, you come here, it's okay, whatever your capacity to pay is, but here is an EMI option which will allow that to happen. But imagine this product has been bought not just by a series of global chaps, but it's been bought by the best of celebrities in India, the best of celebrities in Ahmedabad, and the best of industrialists in Ahmedabad. There's a pride value of that purchase, which is beyond. At the same price, they could go and buy another product, but they will not, purely because there's a emotional association which has been enabled. So you see, there is, of course, the emotionality of that ad, but along with the emotionality, they have enabled the functionality to be ensuring that the delivery is getting completed. Yeah. So when we are talking about emotional elements, and we spoke about the difference is the emotional element, the 5% that we had spoken about. But along with that, the functionality should also continue enabling that difference. I hope that's answering, right? Okay.
Last question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. My
Hi.
name is Anand. I am the marketing manager in a company called Switch. I have two short questions. The first question is, how do we reach a different target audience with a different kind of a story? Because every story won't work with the different target audience. And the second question is, how do we reach to that kind of people who is ultra HNIs, who is not available on social media or anywhere else? So how do we reach that kind of audience?
Sure. So you see, for the first one, which is about audience-specific stories, one is that majority of such. Could you tell me a little more about your part of Snitch or which Switch? So what is this product category that you're dealing in? EV sector. Wonderful, fabulous. So you see, now you've got to consider what we call an architecture approach, be it the product architecture or the brand architecture, whichever would allow you to ensure that there is a custom experience delivered to different types of audiences. So for example, a lot of times, if you know about multiple products which get offered, sometimes the product configuration is very similar, but the emotionality around that product changes, right? So why is that emotionality changing? Is because the audience profile has changed. So we've got to look at identifying, and again, work very closely with your sales force, sales team members, sales leaders, because those are the ones who've got ground level insights. No amount of research, marketing research, qualitative, quantitative, surveys, questionnaires, etc., will ever give you the kind of insights which the sales team members can offer you. Plus, try to engage with competitive experiential sales as well. So for instance, if you are into Switch and you are getting into EVs of different types, then identify how other marketers, how other brands, how other products are being sold, how are they being communicated, and interact with some of their salespeople as well. Because they will again be able to give you insights which a lot of times your salespeople may not have, purely because they have not really been selling to certain markets or certain kind of audiences, right? So that in totality should be collated, and then there are some amazing design thinking tools which allow you to put it in perspective and start identifying how to create emotionality which ensures the difference stands out. Okay, similarly, if it is about HNIs, that is the second question. Hopefully the first question is getting you some answers to it, right? So create sub-brands, create specific emotional stories for each of these sub-brands, and ensure your sales team is aligned with those, because they know the best is what you should go with. Even if you're the marketer, understand the marketing and sales are almost always to be going hand in hand, because that is when the ROI happens. Otherwise, if marketing does its own stuff and sales does its own stuff, ROIs will never happen. Yeah, so which is why the two have to come together as a force. And that is what is the best for the business ROIs. And so that is the first element of it. The Ultra HNI is part of it. Ultra HNIs may not be accessible easily through the regular social media or marketing channels of media, which is, be it the TV or other elements. And which is why you've got to go very experiential with them. With Ultra HNIs, consider again engaging with your sales team members and identify a list of prospective Ultra HNIs which are relevant to your particular product. Host an amazing event for them. Invitation only kind of an event. Let it be very high-end experiential. Like for instance, Coldplay was here. Create a booth of Switch within Coldplay, only catering to the HNIs of your territory. Wouldn't they love to be part of that journey? And while they are there, allow them to sit and experience what your product offers. And create an Ultra HNI version of it. If you were doing this in Dubai, I would have said put a gold version of it, but and put diamonds on it and go about having a lot more of the Coldplay team to sit on it and start communicating it and let them have selfies along with them. But may not be always possible or feasible, or so depending on what level of Ultra HNIs you're dealing with, you can identify how experiential journeys could enhance the sales journey for your product and brand. Yeah. But Ultra HNIs have to be, like for instance, I've worked on a few luxury brands, and a lot of times we would not stop at the sales conversation. In fact, the sales conversation was the last thing to be done for them. The experiential conversation would gradually generate, like the way Sir engaged with us and created the curiosity. You've got to generate that curiosity for your product, for your brands and your offerings. And automatically a lot more will follow. And let them touch, feel, experience, get emotionally connected to the brand. Another could be to have a retreat. A lot of Ultra HNIs, again, love these escapades. So identify a camp, but a luxury camp. Let them be all invited there for certain adventure activities. Let your product be part of that adventure activity. Yeah. So you have to almost like plug in your product and let the product gradually be emotionally doing its work. I hope that answers the two questions that you had. Yeah. Welcome.
All right. Wonderful. Yeah. I think one loud round of applause for both our faculty members. Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful session, and such is the nature of marketing that even one full day may not be sufficient to take care of all the questions, case studies, discussions that we can have around it. But nevertheless, one good heart we can take away from is we have two more such sessions, very interesting, coming up. As I said, one on 26th of July and June. 26th of June and then 30th of July.
31st of July.
31st of July, the last Thursdays of the next 2 months. That's how you can remember it easily. And of course, one session on the psychology of selling, or on 5th of June, for anybody who's interested in a full day.
See that? See that salesperson who?
I think we have 3 hands going up there, and then 2 at the back, and about 2 more.
A little more about that bow and arrow.
All right, lovely. So anyone who is interested, you feel in the full day trainings, Achal sir will be here with us at AMA on 5th of June. So feel free to enroll them as well. But thank you so much once again for spending with us your Thursday evening. Hopefully you had a good time as we did as well. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much, Achal sir. Thank you so much, Samir sir, for being with us today.